Alright, you guys asked for a filtration tour, so here we go. The 1100 gallon. Basically, the tank is powered by, you can see here, two Blueville FX5s. There's a Stenner peristaltic pump, which I'll get into in a little bit, and then there's behind the two FX5s there are two, I want to say probably 300 gallon sumps, and they're connected to one another. So if you go ahead and we look at it, kind of standing back, you can see that the overflows go into this one drip tray, and this drip tray goes into where there's this Japanese mat, and then into another long chamber full of Japanese mat. Now once it passes through there, get my light. Once it passes through there, it goes around the back, and then there's actually an identical sump behind it with more of the Japanese mat. And then that's just some plumbing. The FX5s and the sumps are all plumbed through the overflows, which I'll show you guys in just a second. Here's a view of one of the overflows, and you can see that one of them is not even being used, it's just plugged. The other two, the one with the elbow right in front of us, is going to the sump, and then the other one is going directly to an FX5 intake, and then on the other side there's an outlet for both the pump from the sumps and one from the FX5, and this is duplicated on the other side as well. And then you can kind of see underneath the egg crate to keep that those bio balls from going in the plumbing and clogging anything up. As you can see, that really just doesn't ever get clogged. That water level is right there. It's only about an inch high, so I mean that gets drained real quick, doesn't get clogged at all. And just when I thought I was done, I should explain what's going on inside the pump and the sump. So inside the sump, which was damaged when it was shipped here, there's a DC pump that basically runs everything. It's teed off into these two check valves, and then behind the pump, might be very difficult to see, but behind that pump there is some heaters that are controlled by the heater controller. And then also what you can see right here, this white tubular thing is an ultraviolet sterilizer, and that's actually plumbed off of one of the FX5s. Okay, so here are the overflows. You can see this is one of the overflows, and it's full of bio balls, and it's actually like a triangular, basically a 45-degree angle on the tank. So as you can see, it might be kind of difficult to see it, but it goes at a 45-degree angle, so it does take up, as you can see down there, it does take up some of the space. And this is actually a new arrival. That's one of the Zabrina pike we got. Pretty flashy, likes to show off, and actually gets along well with the other pike, so that's good. But as you can see, the inlets are the larger, great looking things. Those are the inlets for both the one is for the FX5, the other one's just plugged, and then the two outlets, one comes from an FX5 and one comes from the sump pump. And then looking up here, this is the command center. So I have a heater controller, timer, and then this little guy's the pump controller. It's a DC pump. I like it. It works pretty well. It's easy on the electric bill. And then the rest of these cables are for the air pump and the lights. So to get more flow in the tank, I actually have a little cheapy circulation pump with 4 heads on it that shoots water from the top down to the bottom. Hi, Mr. Turtle. And that actually helps clear out all the food and stuff and poop that gets stuck in this rock work and driftwood work. And then as you can see, the airline tubing is hidden pretty well behind that one branch, and you can see there's an air stone there. There's an air stone behind that other one as well, and then there's actually one more. They're kind of together. So that's how I get more flow in the tank, and if you can kind of see it from a bigger angle here, that's what keeps the tile bottom so clean. Is everything gets pushed down and then it gets back up and goes in, and you can't really see it because of the floating plants. That's kind of by design, but as you can see, there's an overflow teether right there, and that's where all the waste and such goes. Okay, so we're on top of the tank now, and as you can see, all the ballasts are hung up behind the tank, and then there's a large air pump that powers all the air stones in the fish tank. And then I'm eventually going to put it on a backup power supply so that if the power ever gets cut out, that it will power everything. Then you can also see that there's suspension hardware for the LED lights. They're from, I got them on eBay. They're okay. I could probably do better. But as you can see, that's pretty much the filtration tour. The one last thing I did want to talk about is this is on a drip system. So again, the peristaltic pump right there, what it's doing is it's draining fresh water out, and there's a giant reservoir. There's a big drum right there, and that's full of fresh water that's on a float valve. And then I also use this little cheapy pump to dose some pond prime. Got the pond prime right there into it, and then that goes all the way up. It runs along the top, along with the electrical, runs all the way along and back down into the tank. So it's drawing water out of that reservoir, pumping it fresh into the tank, and then at the same time, you can see these heads moving. At the same time, these guys, that it's pumping water into the tank, it's pulling water out of the tank, and basically that's this beige cord right here, which pumps water all the way up into this planter that you can see right there along the side of the house. And there's these huge bamboo planters, and so that's basically what it waters every day, about 170 gallons. So there it is. There's all the filtration for the 1100 gallon.